For most of my life, I didn't know why I was going to school. I wasn't sure if I was going to school for the sake of getting good grades, for the sake of making a lot of money someday, or maybe even for the sake of attaining high social status. Either way, going to school remained meaningless to me. Then, one day, I heard about this group called PTK. Well, I heard about something else first, but then I heard about PTK, and they had this cool project called Honors in Action. Apparently, a group of nerds with high GPAs got together, and they actually did something with the stuff they learned through school. I didn't get too involved at first, because the street description sounded suspicious, and then the pizza tasted kind of funny. However, after my English professor encouraged me to join, I decided to take part in their summer honors and action course and see if there was something better than pizza worth staying for. Throughout the summer course, flipping through the guide, as I tried to piece together the identity of Honors in Action, or HIA, I found some buzzword-filled objectives and promises, something about scholars and leaders, global perspectives, critical thinking and reflective skills, collaborating and communicating, and more. However, what caught my eye was the reality that HIA was supposed to engage students in informed action to actually discover and reason out a solution, and then we got to address a real-world problem, something that actually affected all of us, right here, right now. How cool was that? Then, we looked at a map that represented the mountain of the process we were to go through for the duration of the HIA project. Like most mountains, we started from the bottom at the beginning of the summer. We began with investigating and analyzing any shapeless form of our personal interests that was in conjunction with this year's topic. Then, we narrowed our focus as a group by developing a research question, and as we finished the summer course, we got ready to develop a plan of action to further investigate our question. Every year, HIA has a topic. This year's topic was called Transformations, Acknowledging, Assessing, and Achieving Change. This sounds quite broad at first, but thankfully, every topic is divided into themes to give us a potential direction to choose. This year's themes applied the topics in areas such as biology, economics, politics, technology, arts and entertainment, justice, social media, labor, religion, and more. Since HIA challenges students to address a real-world problem, we, as a PTK team, had to think of problems that affected us on a national or local level. We had to think about problems we wanted to know more about, problems that we cared about. We cared about discrimination towards refugees. We cared about heroin addiction and overdoses. We cared about extreme verbal and physical violence. We cared about hate groups. We cared about technological abuse. We cared about social media attention. Of the problems we cared about, it just so happened that we could expand on our topics through 3 themes the book provided, one involving politics, justice, and social media. From the topics we were interested in, we desired to understand more. So, we began asking questions. We asked, how can we better empathize with and aid refugees? How can we better empathize with and aid heroin addicts? How can we generate empathy? How can technology generate empathy? How can social media generate empathy? At first glance, our interests as a group seemed quite fragmented, disoriented, and disconnected. But once we took a closer look, we realized that there was more tying us together than we originally thought. So then we took a step back and simply researched empathy itself. We had nothing but feelings before this point. We needed some evidence and terminology. We dug deeper, and by the end of the summer, this is what we learned. We learned that there are different types of empathy. We learned that the way we see the world impacts our level of empathy. We learned that social media can be a place for increasing empathy. We learned that external factors beyond our control can affect our ability to empathize. We learned that we all have a form of protective prejudice. The more differences we recognize between ourselves and others, the more difficult it is for us to empathize. We learned that the best way to increase empathy is to establish similarities between issues and viewers, to start small, and to take it one step at a time. We learned that many heroin addicts did not realize how badly they wanted heroin. If addicts cannot empathize with themselves, how much more easily can we empathize with them? And lastly, we learned that empathy can be learned, and that everybody has the capacity to do it. As we moved from the stage of discovering our topic to developing a plan of investigation, we had to face a big, scary R word: research. However, thankfully, we found a few friends along the way to guide us. This is Andrea. And this is Alice. We found them in the library. Or rather, they found us. And then there's this guy, Professor Scott Rudd, professor of English and more subjects. Thankfully, we had the three of them to guide us along the research path. They taught us that research doesn't have to be a big scary R word. They taught us that research could actually be kind of cool. In fact, it could be kind of fun. They taught us that research is not a linear process. It has highs, it has lows, it backtracks, it doubts itself, it's a mess, and altogether, it's human. It's a human process of discovery, collection, and understanding. So it turns out that there can be reasons we go to school. It turns out that there is more to learning than just grades, money, social status, or even pizza. Or, one of my favorite authors, Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, states it better. If you want to build a ship, don't drum up the men to gather wood, divide the work, and give orders. Instead, teach them to yearn for the vast and endless sea. Honors in Action gives us a reason to begin grasping the vast, endless, infinite sea of knowledge. In reveling in the beauty of understanding for the sake of informed action, the research process offers us the courage to set sail. So perhaps we sound like idealistic, unrealistic superhero wannabes. As we prepare to narrow our research and create a plan of action, we realize that we might not be able to save the world in 1 year. But we're getting there, with one moment, one article, one reasoned fact, and one research project at a time. My name is Keidai, and this was my summer 2018 Honors in Action journey with Phi Theta Kappa. Thank you for watching.